I got to ask you, Andrew. So you did an interview with Piers Morgan, right? Which I messaged you after I told you, fantastic job. I agree on a lot of your views on that one. And he was hell bent on asking you, do you condemn Hamas? Which he asked everybody that fucking shit. I don't know. It's like his new thing now. What was going through your mind during that interview? What's your stance on that whole conflict in general?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that people try and draw these black and whites, and they try and decide who the good guys and the bad guys are. And because I have to be careful what I say due to my current legal predicament, I'm going to answer this way. If you think in any conflict on the planet that there are simply good guys and bad guys, you'll often see that the world is usually a little bit more gray. And we can talk about how the conflict started and who I believe is more right than wrong, because I do have a team who I believe have God on their side and who are morally right. That is correct. That's absolutely correct. But we can also all agree here that a genocide has taken place and children are dying. And I think the saddest thing about this particular conflict is that we're seeing the videos for the first time. And I feel like the Western population has been sanitized to violence because of the way it's purported and spoken about in the Western media. So they'll say terrorists ran in with machetes and they killed people and they chopped their hands off. So in retaliation, we took out targeted strikes. Now, machetes chopping people's hands off sounds graphic and terrible, and targeted strikes doesn't sound terrible, but bombs kill. And a building collapsing on the head of children is not a pleasant sight. There's no nice way to die. You'll get dismembered by a bomb just like you'll get dismembered by a machete. You'll lose an arm to a bomb just like you'll lose an arm to a machete. And the Western world is very sanitized to violence. Oh, we took out tactical bombing strikes on this thing.
They don't show violence.
They don't know what that means.
Or Fox, nothing.
Tactical bombing strikes means little children buried under rocks. It means decapitated kids. It means women bleeding to death. It means men losing their children and their wives. We're very desanitized to it. And when the Western world or the people who are on the favorable side of the media commit violence, it's reported in a certain way. And when the other team does it, it's reported in a completely different way with completely different language. And I think that the true barbarism is being committed against the people of Palestine. And it doesn't matter how we try and wrap it up, or the fact that we drop a bomb from a plane as opposed to a man does something on the ground, or however we report it. If you actually look at the videos, it's truly disgusting. And I feel deep shame and deep guilt in my heart that this is happening and there's not much I can do about it. Maybe it's my masculine instinct, but I felt sad ever since that begun. I felt noticeably more sad every day since October 7th. I feel it. It's sad. And what makes me most sad is that something like the Super Bowl will come on.
Yeah.
And people just don't give a shit about children being blown to pieces because
Ice Spice.
The Super Bowl is on and this game. And, oh, my God, look at this singer and this crowd. Look at them. Bro, how the slave mind is remarkable to me. How you can give a shit about something like the Super Bowl while at the exact same time thousands of children are being blown to smithereens. Maybe it's because I have kids myself. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just think it's such a sad world we live in that people's consciousness has been lowered to such a point where they're more obsessed with putting a ball over a line than they are with preserving the sanctity of human life, regardless of their color or their religion or their creed or their country. I think it's disgusting.
You know, it's crazy. I tweeted this. I was like, yeah, everyone was watching Taylor Swift drink a beer while, you know, they bombed thousands of people, innocent people in Gaza, man.
And there's another thing. I have my own charity.
Crazy.
I often don't talk about this because people think I'm only doing it. I don't know why they think I'm doing it. I have a charity, and you can go right now to tatepledge.com. And I spend millions of dollars every year feeding children, myself, in the worst countries in the world. In Syria, we try and get food into Palestine whenever we can. In some bad parts of Turkey, we spend a lot of money feeding kids. Me and my team, the War Room, specifically try.
And you've been doing this before.
I've been doing this for years.
Case. You've been doing this forever. For all you haters.
Trying to save the world effectively. I have a lot of money, and I think, well, what's the most tangible thing you can give to a poor person? Food. Give them a hot meal. And you can go to tatepledge.com and see the videos of me feeding children all around the world. But nobody wants to talk about that. I'm a bad person because I said women can't park cars. And they're going to attack me. And the people who attack me for it, all of my terrible views, have never fed anyone. They never donate any money to charity. They never help anybody. And the same people who watch the Super Bowl, or the same people who say I'm a human trafficker, they don't feed any starving children. It's just me sitting here saying, these kids need to eat. I'll spend my money doing it. Why are you obsessed with the Super Bowl? There's bigger issues in the world. But these people are slave-minded. And that's what they say inside the Matrix. Anyone who is not yet unplugged can become an agent. Anyone who's not unplugged from the Matrix can become your enemy in a split second and aim to kill you. And aim to kill you. And when I say kill, it can be in a lot of different ways. I don't even mean murder. I can mean it metaphorically. They can sit them down in a jury and they're slave-minded and they can tell them some garbage and they'll sentence you to death. And that's the world we live in. And it's scary. If you don't believe in God in the world today, I don't know how you're functioning, because that's the only thing that can keep you sane when you see the injustices that are happening on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, it's crazy because, you know, most Americans are very unaware of what the fuck is going on. And